Hi, it's Steve the Floor Plan Man. I thought I'd get out of the office today and talk about property listings. What should you put on a property listing and what makes a good property listing? So without further ado, let's jump into it. So let's start with some must-haves. Now, all listings in the UK must have the following. Obviously, the price needs to be shown, but this needs to be shown numerically. Any deposit amount, if applicable, the council tax band, and tenure info, whether it's freehold, whether it's leasehold. Now, this also includes lease length, service charge, and any review periods that might be applicable. So as of June 1st, 2022, trading standards in the UK have enforced material information, Part A, Part B and Part C. What I've just gone through is Part A information. Part B and C haven't been confirmed yet. I'll do my best to keep you updated as soon as it is though. So now we've gone over the essentials, let's see what's left. Now, I don't want to teach you to suck eggs, but obviously photos are one of, if not the most important thing that you can put on a listing. So here are some tips to help you make the most of them. The order of the photos is really important. Your first photo should be of the front of the property. The next photo or two should show unique features of the property, maybe a particular selling point that makes the property different than any other. Then you should add the rest of your photos. Once they see a few good photos at the start, they're more likely to click through the rest of them. Now, the number of photos is also important. Between 7 and 10 is about right, but it's always better to have too many than too few. Now, if you've got access to fancy camera equipment, by all means use it, but you don't have to have an amazing camera to get good property pictures. The cameras on smartphones nowadays are more than good enough to take property photos. And if you're not happy with your photos at the end, there are companies out there that will doctor your photos afterwards. For example, if you were taking photos on a cloudy day, they can replace that with a blue sky. Even if the property was empty, other companies might be able to furnish the photos for you. So save yourself a bit of money and time and maybe think about using your camera phone. And the next thing, you guessed it, floor plans. Every single property should have a floor plan. After looking through the photos, people will want to look at a floor plan to get a sense of how the property flows. Now, listings with a floor plan will get 30% more click-throughs online than those without, so it really makes sense to add one. Now, when it comes to floor plans, this is where you can start to stand out from the crowd. Use your company colours, maybe even add a logo. This attention to detail really counts. Next, we're going to talk about the property summary. Now, the language that you use here is really important. When writing your summary, try to stay away from using too many superlatives. For example, this amazing property, blah, blah, blah. Outstanding views, blah, blah, blah. Superlative this, amazing that. We know that you're trying to sell the property because it's on a property listing.
It's Captain Obvious!
It's Captain Obvious!
Yes, it's Captain Obvious!
Obviously.
So be a little bit more accurate and more descriptive with your summary, but the most important thing is keep it short and concise. So, for example, try something like this. We are proud to present this south-facing period property with 2 large bedrooms and a generous kitchen diner, located close to local amenities. That's more than enough that you need to say in the summary. It says it all, and if they want to know more information, they can then move on to the descriptions. And talking of property descriptions, this is where the finer detail takes pride of place. Now, you could write quite a long freehand description. By all means, this is fine, but make sure that you get the detail in there and don't waffle on. From experience, I've seen that the best way to write a property description is room by room. Add the room name, then state its measurements, and then talk about the main features that that room has to offer. For example, dining room, 4.5 by 5.2 metres. This generous room boasts original oak flooring, a feature fireplace and patio doors out to the large garden. And that's it, that's all you need to write. Do exactly the same for the living room, for the kitchen, and so on. Now, bear in mind, if someone is reading the descriptions, they're already interested in the property. So again, be concise. The ultimate goal here is to make sure that they're interested enough to contact you. Next up is location details. Now, the majority of property portals will allow you to add a map view and also a street view of the property. Make sure that you add those in. It's very quick to do and it will really add to the property. And the last thing I'm going to go into is the features list. Again, the majority of property portals will have an option where you can add bullet points of the main features of the property. For example, 2-bedroom cottage, south facing, recently refitted kitchen. Make sure that you add 4 or 5 of these. That should be more than enough. Everything that I've got in here should be more than enough to intrigue and entice people to get in contact with you. Remember, that's the ultimate goal, to make sure that people contact you about the property. And at this point, you can start using all kinds of other techniques like virtual tours, 3D walkthroughs and the like. Now, I hope you found this helpful, and I'll see you next time.